Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome back to the War Report, the show revolving around competitive play in PlanetSide 2, a massively multiplayer online first-person shooter. It's absolutely free to play, which is awesome. PlanetSide2.com. I'm Axel Sauce. I'm joined by Jax.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
No, how are you doing?
I'm great, man. You know, I've been in the studio today. We've had a lot going on. We got a bunch of games being casted. Stoked for what the matchup we have today. We have Nuck, which is going to be our TR outfit, versus sort of a hodgepodge of multiple outfits from Waterston. There's
Hodgepodge. Look it up. Go ahead.
There's XOO. I think we have 5 or 6 TIW guys in there, and there's like 2.5 squads of Diaz. So a large NC.
So I know you like the TIW a lot. I've been looking. I've been reading Reddit, and a lot of people really enjoy when you talk about TIW.
Yeah, no, they don't on Reddit. They don't. So I'm not going to mention them. But yeah, there's so we have like a few different outfits going up against Nuck.
Right.
It should be interesting because there's obviously it's a mix of very skilled players on the NC side today. But Nuck is in an actual outfit, so they're more organized and more prepared. I see Nuck taking.
We've seen them before.
We have seen Nuck take. Yeah, we have seen them before. I see Nuck taking this, but hopefully I think the NC will put up a really good fight.
Yeah, and to kind of clarify things, today's action will be on the Battle Islands. It's a relatively recent addition of PlanetSide 2. How would you kind of explain the Battle Islands to any newcomers?
So the Battle Islands are sort of competitive PS2. It's something we've always been asking for, and they will be in the open world environment too, so they're not just for competitive play. They'll essentially link the continents eventually. But the Battle Islands are a small island, obviously, with 9 bases.
9 bases.
And it is one faction versus one faction. So it's not a 3-faction battle like traditional PlanetSide. They're not on the public test server yet. Luckily, thanks to the great people at SOE, we have access to them here at MLG. You'll be seeing them on every episode. Right now, they have one battle island, which is the Nexus. It's a snow island. And it's really fun to play. It's my favorite personal continent out of all of them. But I'm a huge Yasimir fan. If you watch the show, you know that. So I just think the Battle Islands were done really well. They look really good. They have a great flow to them. So I'm incredibly psyched to see how today works out.
It's like it's the competitive aspect that everyone's looking for in PlanetSide 2 finally coming together. Literally one versus one in a sense, where it's not 1 versus 1, it's team versus team.
Right, 48 versus 48.
Exactly. So, you know, it's a great opportunity for teams to really show that they've been practicing, that they're ready, and to kind of rise themselves above the rest.
Yeah, it looks good. And speaking of new additions, you have some new facial hair I think we should talk about.
We didn't have to bring that, you know? Yeah, I do.
And I think it looks handsome.
Really?
I think, you know, yeah, I think it looks all right.
Okay. See, I don't know if you're messing with me right now, but that's fine.
I can't genuinely give my friend
See, I never know if you're serious.
I'm saying people that watch this show may have noticed that there's...
I'll be honest, I'm thinking about just chopping it all off.
I was
even going to shave my head completely, too, on top of it.
Wow.
Okay, but a part of me is like, okay, I want to be Jack Sparrow for Halloween.
So that's where it's coming. Right. That's why. Is that why you've been growing it out? I think you'd be a good Jack Sparrow, man.
I think so, too.
Should we do a costumed episode of War Report?
Oh, God.
War Report and costumes?
It's already been suggested, so it has to happen.
You guys can throw it out on Twitter. Do you want us to wear costumes for War Report? What do you think about Axel Toss's...
I wasn't committing to Jack Sparrow. I kind of made that up.
What do you think about Axel Toss's facial hair?
Hello.
Tweeted him at Axel Toss, at that guy Jax. Let us know what you think about that. I think it looks great. I think it looks awesome.
I have to watch some Pirates of the Caribbean to get the voice right for Jack Sparrow. Hello, Puppet.
The chair keeps moving because there's a cord wrapped around it, so it looks like I'm going that way. It's because... so, I can't... What's that? So, we are in New York City here at MLG Studios.
We are. That's where we are. So, Jack Sparrow might happen. Halloween costume episode might happen. The point is, what's going to happen here today? It's Nuck versus a hodgepodge.
Nuck versus a hodgepodge of Waterston, led by Sniper Incoming of Diaz.
Yeah, that being said, I think it's time to get into this action. It's on the Battle Islands. It's 1 versus 1, team versus...
Yeah, tell them go. Here we go.
Go. Here they go.
The alert has begun.
Oh my God, my screen. Lennox, if you're not capturing this, I will be very upset with you. Lennox, oh my God. The flurry of activity on my screen is, I can't even describe it with words. It is something that has to be seen, but unfortunately, Lennox.
The NC are rolling out on this side right off the start, not looking quite as organized as that TR just air squad that.
Dude.
Wow, the TR already taking out 4, 5. So one Galaxy already down. Wow, this TR air is all over the place. They have
so much air. It's not even a question.
Nuck obviously prepared, not letting the NC even get out of their warp gate with the amount of air they have. The NC not as prepared in the air. They had a couple Galaxies, a couple Sunders. Obviously not looking as good. Nuck has a plan.
Wow.
delay them at the warp gate, because now the NC, they need to regroup.
They do.
Try and
and
get
that's
over
not something you want to have to do in literally the first 2 minutes, where it's the start. You don't have to regroup in the first 2 minutes, but Nuck took complete air control in the beginning. They took to the skies in a matter of seconds, and they just completely shut down any air efforts from their enemies. So
And the ground efforts. They took out the Sunders as well.
Oh, of course.
I mean, they literally all went Mozzies, and they had 2 gals, I think, you know, to get their troops to the point. But these NC troops are sort of all over the place. Obviously, Alpha Squad went down, running here on foot, getting into this first base, which will be Slate Canyon Hold. This is NC controlled. Let's take a quick look at the map, guys, to show you where we're starting at.
Yes, so this is a battle island, which some people might not be familiar with, but this is like literally the future of potential esports in PlanetSide 2.
Right, absolutely. And the TR are flipping all 3 of these Vanu points to make a really strong front line and push against the NC here.
Yeah, I'm chilling at Arizik Satcom Hub, which is going to be on the map a little bit on the right-hand side. Obviously, the main objectives are going to be those middle bases. If you control those, you're going to have a bunch of momentum. The main fights are going to be at those locations. If you're not taking those, you're going to have to defend a location on your side of the map. That's Argent Pass for the TR. For the other team, it's Hydroponics Compound. It's Nexus Omega, of course. That's the ultimate goal. And there's Slate Canyon Hold. So from here, because of that awesome momentum start that TR had, just taking complete control of the air, demolishing their opponent in literally the first minute to 90 seconds, they're able to get a lot of momentum on these middle locations, which are going to be so important to control at this as this contest goes along. That's Bitter Gorge Garrison, the Granite Head Reactor, and of course the Arizik Satcon Hub.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see where they're fighting now. Where are your guys at?
Dude, TR have just completely taken over Arizik Satcon Hub. It wasn't even an issue. It's theirs.
I'm gonna go take a look over at Bitter Gorge, which is where I'm at actually now, and it looks like Nuck has all 3 points, but the Bravo squad and some of Alpha are here. So let's see if these guys from Alpha and Bravo are able to get up to the base. They have Skyguards out. They're trying to deal with this air. 1 Skyguard's not going to be enough to deal with the Air Force of this size. They're going to need a lot more Skyguards up here, or they need to get Reavers in the air. I mean, I know that these NC guys, between these outfits, have some decent pilots. They need to get their own pilots in the air to try and counter all this Nuck resistance.
Yeah, for now, Nuck, they took control of the area on the right-hand side, and now they're kind of focusing on the Granite Head Reactor. They have control of all 3 locations. They also have a lot of people spread out, watching each point to make sure there are no enemies.
Alpha Squad able to get a Sunder up in here, so so Alpha Squad was able to get their guys unloaded. Alpha Squad is now officially in the base. So let's see if they're able to flip some points at Bitter Gorge here.
Looks like that's the focus for both teams. I'm not seeing too much focus on the Granite Head Reactor, aside from the TR platoon. A couple of squads are here, at least from Nyuk. So not an issue. Nyuk. They told me to call them Nyuk beards. So I'm just gonna get that out of the way early.
Yep. Speaking of beards, you know your lovely facial hair that we touched upon in the intro.
Wow. Did you really touch upon it? Physically, or are you talking?
No, just emotionally.
Emotionally, okay. I'm sensitive about my facial hair. You know that, right?
No, I like it. I think
you do. You really do.
I think you look like Zorro. I think I can now say
that's what I've been trying to go for. That's
You've been going for Zorro. Well, yeah. Zorro is here.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Ah, okay.
Sure.
I feel much more.
The NC were able to flip A and C there, but getting wiped out. Nuck able to come back, hold all 3 points. Obviously, they need to take away Vanu control before they give it TR control. So it's giving them a minute to do that.
So is your group of people just focusing on Bitter Gorge? Because I'm literally seeing no action at Arizik Satcon Hub or the Granite Head Reactor.
Yeah, the NC that I'm following are at Bitter Gorge.
Okay.
Now let me take a quick look at the map here. And I mean, yeah, it looks like pretty much all of the NC here are at Bitter Gorge. They're at a couple of them are at Slate Canyon. They're trying to get, you know, they're trying to get some vehicles up because Nuck pretty much wiped them out. So
yeah, I feel like in the beginning they had a plan, but then Nuck just completely destroyed them. As far as with their supreme air control, just having complete control of the air and just demolishing anything that came out of the enemy warp gate. So, are you okay with that strategy? I mean, if they're just going for Bitter Gorge Garrison, they're not necessarily focusing on the other 2. So how much of a problem is that going to be moving forward?
I think it's a really good strategy by Nuck because by getting that many Mozzies up in the air, you can really hit them hard coming out of the warp gate. Obviously, it being on the test server, they don't have a ton of resources, so getting all their vehicles wiped out, not ideal.
Yeah.
They're delayed, and while all these Mozzies that are up front at the warp gate, Nuck has like 2 galaxies, not even full of players, just being dropped off and capping bases while the NC are being warp gate contained.
So I remember a time when Mr. Jax on a show called The War Report about PlanetSide 2, MajorLeagueGaming.com.
MajorLeagueGaming.com.
He was saying something like air control wasn't that important.
I did used to say that.
In the
I mean,
on Battle Island. So I want to give you a chance to kind of
a lot of people
clarify that, I dare say.
A lot of people send me tells and they're like, why'd you say air control won't be that important on the Battle Islands? Because I didn't think it would be, but then I actually played on them. I was going based off a video that I saw.
A video.
And they looked very indoors and things like that. But air control is hugely important on the Battle Islands. So even I make mistakes.
Okay, I forgive you for that. I appreciate it, actually.
Thanks, Alex.
You know what?
Appreciate that.
I'm a forgiving guy. All right. So a bit of action happening at Arizona SATCON Hub. I see a flurry of NC activity. They've already taken control over B, and now they're going towards A and C. So it looks like they've kind of refocused their efforts onto Arizona SATCON Hub, at least maybe just one individual squad or two. But I'm seeing a lot of NC action in this area.
Yeah. Hydroponics seems to be glitched.
Uh-oh. That's no fun. But over on my end, NC had taken down B. It looks like they're making move towards C and A at Arizona SATCON Hub. So they are splitting up. They are kind of diversifying their objectives and trying to cover as much ground as possible at this point in time. A bit of skirmishing happening at my A. What's going on your screen there?
The air is just absolutely pounding down on these guys at Bitter Gorge Garrison. This is a very tough base to retake. So for Nuck to take this base is huge. We still have 37 minutes on the clock. There's a lot that can be done by the NC here.
Right.
But Nuck getting this Bitter Gorge cap is very big. Let's see where else they're fighting, because this base is pretty much done.
Just based on the early momentum in this game, Nuck took control over all 3 of those spots in the middle of the map. So what's the main strategy NC needs to go for? I mean, do they pick one? Do they send a bunch to each location?
Well, I'm going to go over to
strategy?
SATCOM Hub and hope that...
yeah, I'm there now, actually. I'm looking at A right now. B and C are controlled by the NC, so they're trying to make a run towards this. A is still controlled by the TR, by the Nuck, but it's slowly going in NC's favor. So now the TR are going to have to regroup a little bit to try to retake control over SATCON Hub. Remember, it was literally the first area they completely controlled, but at this point, they're having a bit of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like, as you said, B and C controlled by the NC.
Oh,
A is now flipping to the NC. The NC are trying to make a stand here at SATCOM, obviously. So we'll see if the TR come in and try and get a response for this. It looks like
there's so many NC everywhere here.
Looks like a lot of the NC are just kind of here at SATCOM trying to, really
This
make
is
a
their
stand.
focus. So.
Oh wow! And
Oh my
and
God!
A whole Nuck drop.
Yeah, they're like, we're not giving this up without a fight. It looks like the entire Alpha squad dropping at the B location. They're charging in there at this very moment. And now the NC are going to have to kind of regroup and come back to this B location, or the TR are going to have to maybe go towards A or C. It looks like that's definitely what they're going to try to do, taking over B very quickly. And now it's just a complete battle over Auerzech SATCON Hub.
Yeah, if the NC can hold B and C, they can take the base, but I mean,
True.
at what cost? They have to cap it in 12 minutes and 24 seconds.
Yep.
There's only 35 minutes left in the match. Do you want to spend 12 minutes on one base? I mean, I don't think that that's a strategy.
No, you don't. I mean, it's
no,
all
you
about
don't.
it's all about strategy and having an objective and going for it. So it seems like whoever's commanding the NC right now, they're really focusing on SATCOM Hub, and the TR are the Nuck are kind of adjusting to this a little bit. It seems like. I feel like there's a lot more movement in this location. I mean, they're trying to hold down B at this. I'm looking at C at the moment, actually, but they're realizing that the NC are being a threat, and they're going to try to prevent that from happening.
Absolutely. I'm looking around this base. It looks like there's a battle up at A. NC able to flip B back. This base is really sort of the pinnacle focus of this match.
And then TR takes A, so it seems like a bunch of flip flopping.
Yep.
They keep going to these different locations. The question is, when will they meet?
Well, I mean, the real question is, when is NC going to have an answer for this Nuck air? I mean,
Sure.
they have.
Do they still? I mean, I'm assuming they still have control of the air from the very beginning.
Yeah, they have control of the air, but they have these liberators. So this top B point is just getting hammered by this this liberator. So the NC guys aren't even able to get in here. And it looks like Gums here from Gums is going to go down. Yep, no chance. No chance. He's got a He took out one guy with him, but he was really in a tough situation there. All the NC are being completely denied, and it looks like Nuck is going to be able to take all 3 points here at this base, putting 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock until they have it.
Wow. You know, opening things up, TR doing a great job, but I'm wondering, where do we go from here? What's the main situation? Obviously, the main points of contentions are going to be Aerozyc Satcon Hub, the Granite Head Reactor, and Bitter Gorge Garrison. It seems like in the beginning of this contest, we had TR kind of taking control. Is NC turning around at all?
No. To be honest with you, NC is not having the showing that you're hoping to see out of these guys, because Nuck is just highly, highly organized. Now, as we said at the beginning of the show, this is like 4 outfits teaming up together, so it's not one outfit. Obviously, Nuck's going to be more organized, but you'd like to see some strong pushes from the NC here.
I'm taking a look at Slate Canyon Hold right now, and it seems like just... See, as I start thinking about this, like, how important is that air control? Literally, Nuck has been in the air with mosquitoes and, whatever they have in the air this entire time. And they're just, like, I have a guy just literally staring at Slate Canyon Hold and just shooting whatever he sees. And to me, that seems amazing, doesn't it? Like,
right.
Air control is so important. So was this a mistake made from the beginning from NC, not prioritizing the air as much,
well,
letting
TR
get to this point?
If you're not going to prioritize the air, which they obviously chose not to,
Sure.
you need to utilize the fact that you have a lot more troops on the ground.
Right.
And you need to be hitting bases and getting cover from this air. So I would be sending like 2 squads to 2 different bases, and then I would use that cover of buildings to avoid the air. Now, getting there is obviously not going to be easy. You can do it. What I would do is I would just take a Reaver, fly it there really quickly, and have my entire squad deploy on that Reaver and hope it doesn't get shot down on the way there. Get my guys close enough to really make an impact on the ground. Because on the ground, with the numbers the NC have, they should be winning gunfights. Obviously, they're not going to take the air. They can't pull vehicles, but they should be winning gunfights. And right now, it doesn't look like they're utilizing that numbers advantage.
Where are they? Are they assembling anywhere? Is there any concentrated push that they're going for? Because I feel like if I'm a platoon leader for
Platoon,
call it what you will. If I'm commanding things, if I'm telling people what to do, what's the next step? What would be your advice, Jax, as far as, do you focus on one location? You try to split up? Do you try to retake air control? Is that something you try to do?
I don't try and retake air control, because at this point, I don't think that they have the pilots to do so, because
Sure.
Nuck not only has amazing pilots, but they're in position already. So it would be very, very difficult for the NC to retake control at this point of the air. But as I said, they outnumber Nuck pretty greatly on the ground, because Nuck has at least a squad in the air. So places like Slate Canyon Hold, where I'm at now, they should be able to bust into this A point, and right now they're just not getting close enough to do that. Nuck is able to hold Slate Canyon, with 1 squad inside and 1 squad above it.
Okay. So, where do you go here? Where do you go from here for the NC? Is my question.
I mean, I try and utilize the ground forces I have.
The ground forces.
I'm here at Slate. On my screen, I'm at Slate Canyon Hold. What I would do is I would try and retake this point, which they're trying to do, but they're running in sort of 1 by 1. You need to group up. I'd even try a squad of a bunch of infiltrators, like 4 or 5 infiltrators to get in there, because it doesn't. Let me look inside this point and see how many guys we have in here. So we have 3 Maxes and a couple NGs and a Heavy. So it's definitely a formidable force in here. But like I said, they have two squads outside. They should be able to break into this point. They should be able to take this room from Nuck.
See if it can happen. We got a bit of a firefight happening here. Looks like TR inside trying to defend this location, trying to hold that A spot, and the NC trying to find a way to kind of get in here and make some work happen. But for now, we got, looks like a Max there in the window, just making sure no one's coming too close. And also a Max covering that front door. It's a nice defense to have. Look at C3 Max here, but here comes the NC guy coming in here, charging. He's got some guys running in behind, but looks like they're going to be taken out.
When they make a push like that, they need to push with more than 2 guys. They need to have like 10 guys making that push. Obviously, they're getting pummeled from the air, so I understand that it's difficult, but pushing in 1 by 1 doesn't work. You need to regroup and push as a whole.
All right. So we see the TR continuing to push across. They've taken Bitter Gorge Garrison. They've taken the Granite Head Reactor.
And they've taken Slate Canyon.
Yeah. Oh my God. So they took Slate Canyon too. So right now the TR control, what is that? 7 of the 9 locations on this area.
Yeah.
Battle Island.
These NC guys are trying to get in here, but they're just getting slaughtered. You just see NC bodies everywhere. As Nuck making a very strong hold on this point with a combination of air and ground support.
So as we move further along, at least from a NUC perspective, a TR perspective, while they're capturing all these points, it's going to get progressively more difficult because as they advance across the battle island, the forces of their enemies are going to get much more concentrated. They're going to know exactly where their enemies are coming from. Could this be something that they could turn into advantage as far as trying to get a quick cleanup and then going for lack of a better term, counterattack and just try to capture as fast as possible?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the map, NUC is now taking hydroponics. They're going to have to make a stand at the Nexus Omega. And the Nexus Omega is a very fortified base. It's the only base on the map with shields. Well, obviously the Alpha and Omega both have shields. But they're going to need to rely on the most defendable base in the battle islands as sort of their Alamo, their last stand.
Well said. Well said. I mean, obviously, they wouldn't like in an ideal situation. They don't have to be in this position. But NUC has been playing so well,
right,
that they're kind of forced in this situation. So the question is going to be, can they turn this early game snafu, for lack of a better term, into some sort of momentum into their favor, where they can start capturing back into the other location towards the TR? Because they're in a situation, if they don't defend the Alamo, they're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's done.
I mean, the game will be over. They'll literally, they'll win the alert.
Quite literally, yeah.
But what I would do if I was them is I'd try and get another, what I would like to call a safe base. So right now, hydroponics is their safe base. It's their base separating the Omega from the TR. You know, they have a little bit of a buffer zone. They have a safe base. But right now, they only have one, and they're going to lose it in 30 seconds. So if they don't move their entire force to Slate Canyon and try and take that,
right,
and they just focus on defending, they will eventually lose. So they need to get some more safe bases. They need to create a buffer zone. I would not have all my forces at the Omega at this point.
Is that where they are? I mean, I'm looking for the NC. I don't see much activity at Hydroponics Compound.
Yeah,
I mean, the TR just cleaning it up fairly easily and taking control. They're 10 seconds away from converting it. Where are the NC converting right now? Or where are they converging, I should say?
They're just getting the Omega ready for attack. I mean, they have all their squads at the Omega. They know NUC is moving in.
Okay.
And they're saying to themselves, we can't lose this last base, which personally for me, when there's 26 minutes on the clock, I know I'm going to lose the Omega in 26 minutes if I have to defend it that long. I try and get myself bases outside of the Omega to delay them, to slow them down. I want to keep the fights away from the Omega. I don't want to invite the fights into the Omega by falling back there to defend it.
They might be forced into a situation that they weren't necessarily expecting, they're not necessarily comfortable with, but again, the advantage is going to be they're going to have a concentrated force. They have these defensive turrets to help out.
Yep, they got a couple air turrets. I mean, the Omega is designed to be very, very defensible.
Hard to break, hard to break.
It has a shield. It has a lot of turrets. They could potentially defend it for 26 minutes, but why not send at least one squad to try and take Slate Canyon or to try and back cap Hydroponics? To give yourself a safe base, because if you're just relying on defending, you have no offensive push.
So what progress are you really making?
Right, exactly. And it gives the enemy way too much opportunity to just keep hitting that same point until they finally break that egg.
Yeah, that's a great point. So, you know, it might all start with the Nexus Omega. Actually, it might all start and end with the Nexus Omega from the NC point of view. They're going to know that all the TR are going to be converging onto their location. Can they take advantage of that? And perhaps take that safe base you're talking about. Send just a squad to one of these locations, try to take it over, try to take their opponents off guard, while the NUC, the TR, are going to be focusing on controlling and actually securing victory once they capture that Nexus Omega, focusing all of their forces onto that point.
Yeah, they've been able to clear up the air a little bit with all those turrets, so if you see, I mean, NUC still has a lot of air up, but they're not directly over the base right now. They're being a little wary of the amount of turrets that are up here. But this is the time to push out. This is the time to take Slate Canyon. You can't just kind of hide in your panic room and hit that button and hope that they don't break in, dude. You got to get out of there, and you got to get Slate Canyon, or you have to get Hydroponics and build yourself a buffer zone.
We got a Gal drop attempting to happen. It looks like the entire Alpha squad going to be dropping on top of this Nexus Omega, going to try to take control of this. This is the focus they were worrying about. This might be the final push, but can the can the NC control this location? Can they fend off the TR and push in the other direction? A lot of firepower being placed onto this location. Looks like NUC so far, not a lot of skulls, not a lot of dead bodies. Doing a good job trying to infiltrate this location.
Yeah, and all those air turrets are now down. NUC Air is free to terrorize once again.
Yeah.
A lot of people sort of focused on that squad that dropped in. And it looks like they have the generator Yep, both of the generators are primed. Oh, nope, so NC able to stabilize one of those generators. The other generator is primed. They do need to take out 2 generators in order to get into the spawn room.
Yep.
For those of you that are not familiar with the Omega, because I know they're fairly new bases, you need to take these generators down before the spawn room can be entered by the enemy. So it looks like they're going to take out one right now.
Yep. I'm taking a look at one of those generators. Looks like they're watching the front door, trying to make sure no one can get in. Obviously, the NC have recognized that this could be a problem. Again, if they lose these 2 generators, they become even more vulnerable to losing this contest. So they're trying to disrupt this process, but again, the TR are just too good so far. They have so much presence, at least in the generator room I'm looking in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm seeing a huge fight here. The NC are trying to utilize his shield. They're trying to take cover and heal themselves and push the Nuck out. But, I mean, if they just stay in this protected spawn room area, this is the spawn room, guys, for those of you that haven't seen it.
Yep.
It does have a shield on either door. If they just stay in the spawn room and don't push out, Nuck's going to get the generator down. Once they get one generator down, it is not hard to focus the other generator. You need to keep both these generators up. There is still 23 minutes on the clock.
They're like completely contained to their spawn room. The TR are not letting them out. They got a couple maxes there. They have great coordination.
And they prime the other generators. So there's 29 seconds on this one. There's about a minute and 45 on the other one. In about a minute and 45 seconds, Nuck will have access to that cherry on top of that sundae, the cap point of the Omega.
Oh yes, that's exactly what they want, and they're slowly getting to that point. Of course, you got to finish the main course first. Got to finish those appetizers, and then you can get
making a lot of food references.
Hey man, nothing's wrong with food. I think about food a lot. You know what? I'll be honest.
She had some sushi with Naniwa today, the famous StarCraft 2 player.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Of course, casting some StarCraft 2 today, but of course, this is a problem.
It is a problem. One generator is down. One generator has gone down.
There's one more left. I think it's, if I'm seeing this correctly, 35 seconds away.
Let me fly over
How
there.
did the NC kind of come back here? This is obviously a problem. TR, they came to play. Nuck came to play. They got complete air control early on, completely demolished their opponent in the first literally 2 minutes. And then they took control of all 3 of those middle locations, and now they're advancing on to this Nexus Omega. And again, if this Nexus Omega falls, if this converts over to the TR, it's game over.
Yeah, absolutely. We've never seen a full domination here on the War Report. We've seen people take territories, but we've never seen a team get completely dominated. But as I said, it's an organized outfit, and Nuck is a top 2 outfit in this game for sure. I mean, I don't know if I would put them at number 1 or number 2. Play like this, I'd put them at number 1.
We've seen
honestly.
them before. I think it was like maybe even the 4th episode of the War Report.
Yeah, they've been on the War Report several times.
Yeah.
I mean, they're one of the more pro outfits in this game. They're definitely the best TR outfit in the game. You know, with I think Future Crew probably taking the spot for Vanu, and possibly CIW taking the spot for NC. But
Oh no.
looks like my screen's locked up, so we're going to go to yours.
I'm seeing a bunch of firefighting, and I'm seeing a bunch of NC individuals fall and not be happy. The TR coming to this A location as soon as the generators are down, and they just basically destroyed everyone in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my screen is now back, although it's a little wonky.
Uh-oh.
But I'm going to cast off your screen.
Go for it.
So it looks like Nuck has taken the point. They're flipping it. Oh, they're not flipping it. Why are they not flipping it? Ah, that's why they're not flipping it. So while all this was going down...
Oh, they lost. Did they lose one?
They lost, you know, there's both their safe bases had started to get flipped.
Oh,
So, the NC were able to flip Hydroponics and Slate Canyon. They didn't take them, but they definitely flipped control of them. So Nuck cannot cap until they secure both those bases.
that's really important. So how does Nuck kind of respond to that? Like,
well, they have. I mean, they have to go. You know, they have to go send guys to take that base, and it takes pressure off the Nexus. That's what I've been saying they need to do the entire time. But let's see how they're able to do this.
they're keeping a bunch of max in this location, so I think what I would do is keep 2 squads here at Nexus Omega, make sure they're very concentrated, very efficient, some maxes, some medics, some engineers, and then send a couple squads back to make sure no shenanigans are happening at those, you know, those exterior bases that you need in order to proceed at this point. But honestly, kudos to NC for trying to make that happen, realizing that they might be vulnerable at those extra bases, and then going to those locations to try to slow down this progression a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you need to send. Like I said before, I would keep 2 medics Omega and send 1 squad to each base.
Yep.
A strong enough presence to ensure at least one of them flips. But like I said, once they take the Omega, this game will be over. And the clock has started. Nuck now has the cap. There is 6 minutes and 18 seconds left on the cap. The game will be over unless NC can flip it back.
What's the best move from NC right now? Obviously, what they've been trying has not been working. You are Jax, you are the leader. You are telling them what to do. What are your instructions at this point? How do you rally your troops and come back from this very clear
at this
deficit?
point, your one objective is to recap the Omega cap point. So what I do is I get my entire platoon, not one squad, but all 4 squads ready to do a rush together.
Yep.
I rush into the cap point. I try and make a desperate grab. As soon as I flip it, I leave 3 squads there to defend. But I mean, realistically, I would have never let it get to this point because I would not have allowed the Omega to be a priority when you still had Slate Cannon and Hydroponics that you were able to cap. I would have kept the fight away from the Omega. I would have kept the focus off of the Omega. And what these NC guys try to do is they turtle.
I feel like
right?
they tried to do that in a sense. I mean,
they sent a couple guys out to flip the point,
Sure.
but not enough to really take them. They really turtled here on the Omega, and that was their plan, was to defend it. It is a highly defendable base, but as I said, this TR squad, the level of organization that they're coming into it with, it's tough to beat that.
yeah. Nuck, they can, from the very beginning, taking that air control and then, you know, going forward, it looks like they've been making all the right moves. And now the question is, how can the NC come back here? Like, now that they're in this position, how can they bring things back? How can they make things manageable? Looks like they tried to send some people to those extra locations to try to make it a little bit more difficult to take this Nexus Omega. But now it's a point where I think they might have to focus all of their concentration on bringing the Nexus Omega back to them.
Absolutely.
Because we're close to the TR just kind of mopping the floor up right now.
Yeah, the TR are not letting the NC into this cap point. It's just not happening.
Nope.
And unless the NC makes an organized push, they're going to lose this match in 4 minutes and 24 seconds.
Okay. Nuck is pretty good, man. They're pretty good. I mean, like in my mind, I'm thinking, what can really go up against this strategy that Nuck has employed? I mean, it's obviously something they practiced. They've thought a lot about it as far as going for that early air control and then being very concise and efficient about taking each location, eventually pushing to the Nexus Omega. But now that they have control of this A location, I just, like, they're watching each door so nicely. I don't know what the NC can really do to disrupt this.
The NC need to make a push into one door with the entire
Yeah,
platoon.
so is that
the only
happening?
way to beat an organization like this? No, they're not doing it. I mean, they're not showing the level of organization it's going to take to beat a team like Nuck. I mean, kudos to them for getting some guys together.
Right.
Obviously, it's 3 different outfits here, all working together, and so it's not. You're not going to see the same level of organization when 3 outfits team up as opposed to 1 outfit.
Yeah. No, it's a great point. I mean, if you're only sending 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 guys at a time into these doorways, it's not going to work out so well. You need everyone, literally everyone, from all of your squads focusing on one location, trying to break this front door and get the TR out of here. Because this is not theirs. This is yours. And you can't just give it up. But unfortunately, I think that the TR is just too strong. They're just decimating anyone who walks through that doorway.
Yeah, they are absolutely destroying these guys when they try and get entry to this cap point. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, so NC still have enough time to organize, multiple good pushes. You can push, get wiped, and push again with 2 minutes and 40 seconds. You have a lot of time left. It just doesn't look like they're doing that.
Okay. Obviously, the Battle Island, a recent addition to PlanetSide 2.
I'm so excited for the Battle Island to be here. PlanetSide 2 now has a way. On this show, we can now see who the winner and the losers are of fight. It's 48 versus 48. I mean, if you show up, you show up, and if not, I mean, you can see it. So kudos to Nuck for a great match. Kudos to the NC guys for getting it together. We're trying to get a good series going, like a tournament series here over at MLG. To really display the Battle Island.
We're getting close to that point, I think.
Yeah, so you guys can, I know we'll have something going on in Columbus. I don't think we can reveal what it is yet, but MLG Columbus, November 22nd. If you guys are in the area, or if you're in the Florida area, MLG is having a tournament at Full Sail University next weekend.
There you go.
PlanetSide won't be there, but Call of Duty and Dota will, so you can go check that out. And then MLG Columbus, November 22nd, is the next major MLG event we can all look forward to.
So at this point in time, the TR doing the right things. The Nuckbeards, they requested to be called, which is fine. I had a Nuckbeard a little bit earlier. I shaved it off.
Yeah, that facial hair, bro. You're stepping up your facial hair.
You think so?
game.
Okay, we're going to test that out tonight.
Okay.
Is that fair?
What do you mean?
So how do we determine if it's good or bad. So my idea is I go to 5 girls
Okay.
and I get their opinion.
I don't think we have any girls in the office.
No, that's where we go out.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have to go out with you?
Well, no. I mean, I'll
I
go on my
mean,
own.
no,
I'll
I don't want you to go out by
report back
yourself.
No,
I'll help you.
I'll go by myself. You know what? I'll meet some friends at the first bar I go to.
All right. You do that.
And
You be
they'll
the
come
guy
out
that goes
with
to the
me.
bar by himself. Be that guy.
Yes, maybe I will. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe some friends of mine
I will-
watching the War Report will come out with me.
Pre-tape this, Alex.
It's a very good point. Maybe next time they will.
Maybe next
They'll
time.
contact me.
You know what? I will go out with you and test your facial hair. We can see how.
I think I
it
can
works.
make it work, man. It's all about personality.
I think it looks good, man.
You know what? It doesn't even matter what I look like. It's all about personality. I will shave my head off. My head off? My hair off? My head off?
You
I
wanna
don't know
shave
what
your
the
head
proper
off.
term is. No. I want to keep my head.
30 seconds left
Yeah.
until we have an official Nuck victory here on the War Report. The first one we've seen on the Nexus. This is going to be huge.
They're destroying, man. I feel like some of them are just taking nice cruises in their little planes around the area, just making
15
sure.
seconds left. It doesn't even look like the NC are going to make a final push here.
Yep,
Writing is on the wall.
they're trying. Nuck, they're pretty good. Tell me about the history of Nuck.
I will tell you about this.
Are you
soon, Nuck, as
surprised
soon as
about this victory? Is my question.
And boom.
There it is.
That is the ball game.
Boom.
It's not going to end the alert because I don't think it's set to work like that. I don't know if this alert's set up.
Yeah. So what happens from here? I've never actually. I'll be honest. I've never seen someone just have complete total victory before.
Well, I think on here on the War Report we're calling that a dominating victory.
Ah.
So I'm going to tell them that's the ball game.
that is the ball game.
All right, guys, that's the ball game.
That is the ball game.
Should you let your guys know?
That is the ball game. Nice work, guys. Well played.
All right.
Are you impressed?
I am very impressed. So I think we're good.
Repaired.
Dude, they did.
Generator repaired.
I'm pretty impressed. So, I think we kind of agree. It all started with that beginning strategy.
Yeah.
They all
Opening strategy
So-
is huge by now.
Right. So here's what they did. They watched last week's War Report. Actually, 2 weeks ago, they watched the War Report, and they're like, okay, Jax says that air control
Oh.
is not important. So what they did, they literally saw what Jax said and like, okay, I have an idea. Let's do the opposite of what Jax has suggested. And they completely focused on the air. And it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just reading what these guys are saying. I mean,
I'm giving Jax a hard time, by the way. I'm sorry for giving you a hard time. I'm not that sorry. It's fun for me, though.
yeah, I know there's some people here on the NC side who are not too happy with obviously how it went, but kudos to Nuck, man. They came to play and they absolutely dominated from the get-go. Everything NC tried, they just weren't prepared and they weren't taking the steps necessary to win. I mean, when you only have one base left, you have to give yourself a buffer zone. You have to push your squads out. And instead, they turtled in that one base thing, and it's highly defendable. I think we can stop it, and they couldn't.
So if they had a do-over, you would say, all right, let's keep 2 squads
I would say
in
prep.
turtle mode.
I'd say prep air.
Yep.
And then when that didn't work, obviously they got wiped out pretty much out of the gate. I would take some infiltrators in cloaked flashes and get them out to bases to get past that air so that air couldn't see them, and then have their squads deploy on those guys. So I'd get to the base by any means necessary. Obviously, using vehicles wasn't working. I would rely on my squad deploys. And unfortunately, we didn't see that out of the NC today. It was a great battle, though. Nuck with a dominating victory, the first dominating victory we've had here on the War Report.
Dominating.
We're going to have the Battle Islands on all episodes from now on, guys. So I'm sure we'll see a lot more,
I kind of have an inkling of seeing the Nuckbeards
The Nuckbeards
versus, get this, TIW.
versus TIW. It'd be a good game.
What would happen?
I don't know. The way Nuck looked, if Nuck played like they just played there, I think they'd win. But
Really?
Yeah. I
They'd
think
beat TIW if they played like
I
that.
think they look really good. If they played, I don't know.
Okay.
We'll have
no,
to see,
that's
though.
fine. No confidence in TIW. That's great.
Wow. I get a lot of.
That's what you just said.
I get a lot of crap on Reddit for talking about TIW too much. So I'm
Oh.
trying to avoid the. I'm trying to avoid the
talking
topic.
about it. I introduced.
And you keep obviously I think my outfit would do well, but I'm not going to
Be
say
honest,
that.
man.
I think it'd be a really good fight. I think if you take Future Crew, TIW, Nuck, I mean, those are really the 3 big ones in my mind right now. But there's some other great outfits out there. The 666 Devil Dogs,
Yeah.
there's TRG, there's Dawson Fall. So there's other really strong outfits in this game. And what I would like to see in MLG is sort of a pro league where we have 8 to 12 pro teams, and then we keep
All
those.
in the Battle Islands.
Well, not at the same time, but sort of
sure.
in like a league, and then we see matches based off that, because I think there's a clear difference in PlanetSide right now.
Wow.
Between outfits that are getting ready for competitive play and have 48 guys ready to go,
Yep.
and outfits that just do it for fun, which is awesome. I mean, it's an MMO, definitely, and a
Oh.
lot of people out there play it for fun. But the competitive level of PlanetSide, you're starting to see it really kind of fly away from the other
There's a
outfits.
difference. There's a clear line. You
Absolutely.
know, it's great to like everyone watching. If you haven't played PlanetSide 2 before, definitely check it out. PlanetSide2.com. It's also on Steam. Completely free to play, massively multiplayer, first-person shooter. Amazing game. Try it out. But I love
Absolutely.
your point as far as that further extension of the game. If you're getting a little bit more serious, you want to be a little bit more competitive, you join an outfit, this outfit that you're on, you're really comfortable with, and you're wanting to take it to the next step. That's what the Battle Islands are there for. And then from there, MLG on the Battle Islands.
MLG on the
That's-
Battle Island.
that's the
And
highest
We do a
steps.
war report every week, guys.
Yeah.
So we've had some European teams on here. We're gonna have we're gonna see it every week. So it should be pretty exciting. I think we're gonna have Higby down in Orlando next weekend. So we'll see him down there, and I'm sure he'll have some surprises for us, and that'll be broadcast next weekend during the Dota 2 championships in Orlando.
Sure. I mean, honestly, and kind of looking back on what we saw today, like Nuck, they seemed like they had a plan.
Yeah, they were incredibly prepared. Even at the Warp Gate, when you saw the 2 teams,
Yeah.
Nuck for like 20 minutes because we had a little technical delay to start the show. So they had some time there to prep. And Nuck had all their Mozzies and they had Libs and they were all lined up. And the NC forces were kind of scattered. They were in a couple Sundays. They had like 1 Galaxy up. And Nuck was able to get there really quickly and just absolutely destroy. I mean, that was a
No, that's a great point.
strong
Like,
opener.
The biggest thing is speed. Have you played dodgeball?
I have played dodgeball.
Okay, so in dodgeball, they line the balls up in the middle of the court, right?
Right, they're there.
You're supposed to start with your hand against the wall.
Mhm.
So,
And you're very tall. You're
oh, of
6
course,
what?
I was a
how tall are you?
dodgeball king, first of all.
How tall are you?
6'4".
6'4". You
Yeah.
could take the balls out the.
Oh, yeah, I don't even have to leave my hand from the wall. I can just reach that far.
Wow.
Like in
Stretch
in
Armstrong.
Space Jam when he stretched out at the end. Spoiler
Great
alert.
movie, by the way.
Spoiler alert.
Great movie.
Great movie. Check it out. Anyway, my point is dodgeball.
Anyway.
It's all about speed. Getting those balls in the middle, taking them for yourselves, and start pummeling your opponent.
So you're saying Nuck got the balls here?
Right. So in the beginning, for Nuck, it was all about speed. They all had that. They had that air control. They just got in
Right.
the air really fast, went across the map, and started tearing apart everyone. And then they have that control of the entire area, the entire battle island. They have that air control. They can not only have eyes on when their opponents are coming, but they can very quickly dart to each location, start capturing, not even an issue. In the first 10 or so minutes, we saw them capture every single middle location.
Yeah.
And once a team can do that in the beginning, what do you do from there? Like, I feel like...
It's really tough to
Oh
come
my
back,
God.
but I think there are strategies the NC could have implemented
Okay.
when they were really down to a couple of bases, of pushing together, of trying to overpower Nuck, and they tried to take them, squad on squad, and they obviously weren't going to do that. So you need to kind of send 2 squads when they have 1 squad and just keep overpowering them. And unfortunately, we didn't see that today. We saw a great play from Nuck. I think it was an awesome episode. I was really stoked to watch it.
Yeah.
I think we learned a lot of new tactics today for teams that they're trying to learn tactics. So, overall great day, man.
Yeah, and moving forward, guys, remember, if you want to participate in the war report, if you think your outfit has what it takes to take down Nuck,
Or any other outfit on the show.
what's the best method, Mr. Jax?
You can tweet at me at ThatGuyJax. You can on Reddit. I normally make a lot of posts, but ThatGuyJax. My in-game name is Jax19. I'm always playing PlanetSide. But yeah, the best way to get on the war report, the best way to reach me is to reach me at ThatGuyJax. What's your Twitter to give it a little?
I'm at Axel Toss.
At Axel Toss.
At Axel Toss. Very simple.
Sounds like the
dude.
coolest club in town, man.
Oh, it's the coolest
I'm
club.
at Axel Toss.
It's the coolest
Oh,
of clubs.
Oh.
Okay, see, now you're making
Sorry,
fun.
I can't hear you. I'm at Axel
You
Toss.
just crossed a line. There was a
Oh.
line, and you crossed it.
No, it's okay, man. There's like a long line. I wouldn't
That's
even bother
not
coming
how I
back.
sound.
Oh, I'm at Axel Toss.
I don't sound like that.
I just, with the new facial hair, I don't know where you hang out. You're talking about going out after work and meeting all these girls and going to Club Axel Toss.
I didn't
and,
say any of that. I said it'd be
oh,
fun.
The Club Axel Toss is the best club.
For
Oh, it's
science, to establish the effectiveness of a beard on a male when you go to a bar.
So good. They all dressed like that. The Club Axel Toss. Oh,
No,
look at, oh,
this-
is this
I
so
don't-
good? Oh, is this so good?
I'm about to reach over there, and you're about to regret what you're doing.
Oh,
right now.
no. See that dodgeball reach? Bam! Oh, my goodness. Well, I think we're ready to wrap up this show.
We're gonna wrap up. Is that what we're doing?
I think we're wrapping up. We are wrapping it up. From New York City, this is MLG. He's Axel Toss. He's the Axel Toss.
The Axel Toss. That's me. It was the Jax.
Oh no, yours was so bad. If you're gonna come back and do that accent.
No. That was not my own thing. That was intimidating your terribleness.
Intimidating or imitating?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Damn.
Okay, I was basically imitating your
It's okay.
terrible accent.
The English is not the first language, you know. The German was the accent.
I'm not even. It's not time for that right now.
It's not
For me,
okay.
It's not time.
It's not okay.
When the time is right.
It's serious
Okay,
here.
so youtube.com/Major League Gaming. Check it out. All VODs of PlanetSide 2. That being said, War Report every single week. Check it out.
Check it out, guys.
And if you want to get
Sundays at 3
involved,
p.m.
yep.
At that guy Jax or at the Axel Toss.
PlanetSide2.com. If you want to play, awesome game. Free to play, massively multiplayer, online first-person shooter. That being said, we're done for now. See you next time.